Hello again folks, this is Sula, and you're watching a commentary video on Final Fantasy V. This is part 4 of my Ironcore team variant, and we're picking up with the Chimera Brain boss. This is the first of what I've called the Meteor Mini-Boss trio. You can fight them in any order, but I always tend to start with the Chimera Brain because it's the easiest of the three, in my opinion. This guy doesn't do anything particularly noteworthy. He has a couple of ice-based spells and does respectable damage when attacking, but there's not really any one particular attack that's especially dangerous here. So I'm going to fight what I would think of as a pretty standard battle. Lena starts by hasting herself and then proceeds to haste the other characters, while Bartz and Ferris continue attacking. Blaze there that you see is an attack that does 1/4 of each person's max HP in damage, just like a bunch of other spells in this game, although Blaze is ice related. Ferris responds by using White Wind, which heals damage equal to whatever her hit points are. This is one of the more effective ways that the monk job can combine with the blue mage. Anyway, not too much else to describe here. The two physical fighters keep attacking. Lena keeps everybody healed and uses time magic to speed up my team. And here, now that everybody's sped up, I use slow. Technically, I guess I could have cast slow before casting haste, since slowing the enemy has the same effect as hasting yourself, but in any case, it seemed to work out well enough. Bartz's attack inflicted an old status, aging. It's a property of the sword he's using, that you saw there, but didn't really have any noticeable effect in this fight. So, not too much to say about that first boss. Let's move on to the second one, which is Titan. This is, of course, the summon spell Titan that appears in a lot of the Final Fantasy games, especially the 16-bit ones on the Super Nintendo. Titan's big thing is that he will use his Earthshaker attack that does ground-based damage to everybody. So you can see I prepared for this fight by having everybody in float status before the fight began. So that means that that attack actually can't hit any of us. All three of my team members will just float harmlessly over it. Aside from that, everyone else is following the standard battle plan, hasting up, and then just doing physical attacks. I was lucky in that when Titan attacked physically, my characters were equipped with the Elf Cape. You saw Lena dodging the attack there. Elf Cape is one of the best items in this game. It grants 25% chance to dodge any physical attack. And while that sounds basic and is, that's actually better than most of the other accessories until very late in the game. So Elf Cape, very helpful. Right here, Titan dies, and he always uses Earthshaker right before he dies, but everybody floats over it, so it does no damage. I have had my party get killed there before when I didn't use float, so that's why I was careful. Alright, on to the last of the three mini-bosses. This one is the Puroboros. I think that's how it's pronounced. This is almost always the most difficult of the three. It consists of these 6 little bomb-like creatures, and whenever you kill them, they will respond by casting Life 2 and instantly reviving any of their other fellow, bomb things that had already been killed. So the idea here is to kill all of them at the same time, so that they'll just cast Life 2 uselessly, and it won't do anything. Their other big attack that they can do is Exploder, in which they blow themselves up to deal damage to you, and that combined with their ability to revive themselves makes this a really troubling battle. See, like right there, the first one died, but Life 2 didn't do anything because the other ones were all alive. Now, I screwed up this battle right from the start because I had Bart's attack, and that was very, very dumb, because it meant that first Puroboros was going to die. And here you see I try to balance out the damage by attacking one in the back, but it's already too late, unfortunately. Their hit point totals are all over the place. So here, one of them dies, but he brings back the first one to life. So 3 of them are now dead. Well, 4 of them die, but there's still 2 of them alive. Now, what I should have done at this point was stop and just attack the one at the top and damage it, and then wait for the 2 of them to use Exploder on each other. But instead, I compound the error and make things even worse by attacking the one at the bottom. That kills the one at the bottom, and then, he's brought the other 4 back to life. So now I'm really screwed. All of the different Puroboros are at different health totals. I can't kill them all at the same time, and my only option here is to just keep hitting them over and over again with attack magic until they run out of magic points and they can't cast Life 2 to revive one another. So this is a really badly mismanaged fight. And here, you can see they start using Exploder, and I'm like, uh-oh, because if they all use Exploder, then I'm just dead, and there's nothing I can do. But fortunately, the other 4 did not use Exploder. If they had, Bartz and Ferris would have just been killed, and that would have been the end of it right here. Needless to say, I'm panicking pretty badly here. This was a really bad situation, but first things first was to get Lena back up and alive again, then have, well, Ferris continues attacking here, although that probably wasn't the best option, to be perfectly honest. I do want to wear down their hit points, because Exploder does damage equal to however much life they have left. If they use Exploder right before they're dead, it won't do much damage. Here I do the first really smart thing, which is use an elixir on Ferris, since she's almost dead. What that will allow me to do is have Ferris cast White Wind and restore everybody's hit points. And of course here they go, continuing to revive one another. The cycle just keeps going on and on until all of these guys run out of magic points. So now Ferris can, well, I thought she was going to use White Wind. I guess I should have watched this battle previously before recording this. But yeah, not a well-fought battle. Part of the problem was that you actually lose Galuf from your party for a little while due to a story-related event. He goes off and you have to catch back up on him in the next world. So I was without my primary offensive magic user. That's why I turned Lena into a black mage. She has white and black, which means she can't use time magic, so I can't use haste or slow or anything like that. That was also probably not a good decision. Anyway, finally, some of these guys are starting to run out of magic points, which means that they won't be able to keep reviving one another. But until then, all I can really do is just defend with Bartz, defend and use items, and have the other two keep casting attack magic. Aqua Rake was the big damage dealer in this fight from Ferris. If I hadn't had that blue spell, I very likely could have gotten killed here. But this was not the way to do this battle. The way to do it is to just rely on attacks that hit all, whether that's magical damage usually, or you can do things like throw ninja scrolls. See, I have to use an Ether because Ferris is almost out of magic points. Aqua Rake is very mana intensive. Don't do the fight like this. Be safe. Just make sure that you only use spells that hit everybody. Never attack with your characters. It's a dumb strategy. It's counterproductive. I really probably shouldn't have even brought Ferris at all as a monk, because that means she can counterattack when I don't want her to. But in any case, it does work out in the end because these guys run out of magic points. They can't bring their buddies back to life. And so finally, this battle is over. But this was a lot closer to disaster than I wanted to be walking here. So yeah, we're strong. No, actually, we're really stupid, is what he should be saying. Okay, on into the second world. Now, right at the start of this world, your party gets captured, and Galuf has to go rescue the other three characters. So he is alone by himself here, briefly. What I've chosen to do is give him the summoner job along with white magic, so that means he can heal himself if he gets into trouble, and he can cast my strongest spell at this point, Titan, which does pretty respectable damage, 800. This Gilgamesh battle is easy. He only has 1600 life, so 2 Titan summons will finish him off. And, you know, that's that as far as it goes. But always a dangerous situation where you only have one character, as well I know from playing a whole bunch of solo challenges. This is the first of 4 Gilgamesh battles, so expect to be seeing him a lot in some of the upcoming battles. So Galuf lets the rest of the party out. Hooray, now my group is back together. Like I said, you see Gilgamesh a lot, so we'll be seeing him right away again. This is the second time you face him in the battle on the Big Bridge, as it's called. Gilgamesh does have some good dialogue, I'll admit that. Anyway, in this battle, he is a bit tougher, but of course we've got the full party back together again. Bartz doesn't use any magic sword abilities because, frankly, they wouldn't do anything. Magic Sword only does extra elemental damage if the other guy has an elemental weakness, and Gilgamesh doesn't have any elemental strengths or weaknesses. Flash, though, very helpful, makes it difficult for him to attack. Galuf starts kicking in more Titan summons. Like I said, it's the most powerful attack spell that I have at this point in time. Here I was thinking about whether to use haste or to use slow, and I decided why not slow the boss, and then I can proceed from there to hasting up with everyone else. Now, I was trying to be careful here because when Gilgamesh gets close to dying, he will actually implement an AI change. He'll buff up himself by casting haste, armor, and shell, which means that he'll move twice as fast, and he'll also be protected so that you'll be doing less damage to him. Armor protects from physical damage, shell protects from magical damage. So I was waiting here and trying to make sure that I would I would hit him at the right moment. I mean, I didn't want him to buff up with those spells until I was ready for it. So I was thinking here, I was like, have I done too much damage? Probably not yet, but I knew I was getting close. So right here, I figure let's cast Mute on Gilgamesh. If I can successfully mute him, then he won't be able to cast those spells. And I actually did time it pretty well. So right here, when Ferris attacks, Gilgamesh goes in and he's about to buff himself, but haste is ineffective. It doesn't work. So he says haste ineffective, armor ineffective, shell ineffective. None of them work, and that makes the rest of this battle a lot easier. But he does start doing these jump attacks, which do a lot more damage. That one did about 400 damage. But Gilgamesh is not protected against my own attacks, so I'll be able to hit him. And right there, Bart's hit him with old status. That was the little graphic there. Once again, didn't have any real noticeable effect during the fight, but I guess it was nice to have nonetheless. So the team keeps attacking. Bart's attacks, Ferris. What did I decide to use here anyway? Well, I was looking for White Wind there, so some of the characters were pretty beat up. Like, as you can see, heals health equal to however many hit points the caster has. That's why it's good to pair up with the monk. And I don't know what that was. For whatever reason, Gilgamesh's jump attack did an enormous amount of damage and just one-shotted Galuf. I honestly have no idea why that happened. The jump usually does 400 damage, so maybe it was a critical hit or something, is all I can think of. I've actually never seen that before, and I've played this boss at least 24 times before. So I don't know what happened there, but fortunately it didn't cause any huge problems. Anyway, after proceeding on through a little bit more of the game, you fight this boss, although I almost hesitate to call it a boss, the Tyrannosaurus, or Tyrosaurus as they've shortened it to in the code. This guy is very easy to beat as long as you have access to any kind of fire magic, because he has elemental weakness to fire. So I buff up with different spells. Flash actually does work. You might think it wouldn't work against an undead dragon, but actually it does. Lena and Galuf are both black mages. They both have fire rods. I cast fire too, and it does very good damage. And so the only thing left is to attack with Bart's, and well, you can see how much damage he does as well. And yeah, that's it. Not a tough boss, like I said. He does have a chance to counterattack when you hit him with physical damage, but that actually didn't happen in that battle. When I hit him with physical damage, he decided not to counterattack. We're going to wrap up this video by looking at this battle against the Hiryu plant, which is kind of an interesting boss. The plant itself will never actually attack, but it will create these 5 flowers that will attack, and each of them has a status ailment attuned to it. For instance, one inflicts darkness, one of the flowers inflicts poison, one of them can paralyze you, so on and so forth. It's still not that dangerous for a party group, more dangerous for a solo character. There I was really stupid. I was thinking, hey, I can throw a ninja scroll, it'll take out the flowers, and I threw it before the flowers actually appeared. So yeah, that was pretty stupid. But I was able to kick with Ferris, and that took them out pretty quickly. Okay, here I decide to use the Golem spell, which will protect me against physical attacks, but as it turns out, I'm actually successful enough that the flowers never get a chance to attack. Ferris goes through her list of blue magic spells and casts one called Missile. That takes away 3/4 of the life of anyone that it's effective against, and normally it doesn't work against bosses. Anytime they have something called the heavy flag in the code, it doesn't work on them. But for whatever reason, the Hiryu plant does not have that flag, so it's basically not considered a boss, and that's what allows me to do that. So 8,000 damage right off the top, pretty good stuff. That means that this battle is going to be over pretty quickly. Just get some more Titan summons, some more attacks from Bart's, and it'll all be well and good. I can keep kicking the little flowers. Oh, and see there, Bart's has the dancing dagger, which has good attack, but sometimes will do stuff you really don't want it to, like Jitterbug Duet there. I actually would swap him off of that weapon pretty shortly thereafter. So Ferris keeps kicking the little flowers. Galuf continues summoning Titan, because it does the most damage of any spell I have right now. And that's about it. Hiryu plant goes down, and we move on to bigger and better things. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. We'll pick up next time by looking at the middle bosses in the second world, and you'll see that I run into some difficulty I didn't quite expect. So see you back then for part 5.